Yeah.
It's yours.
They're tearing the west wing of the White House down. They tore the west wing of the White House. A pretty fancy ball and First Lady's office.
Just hold 999 people.
Yeah, there's a.
Yeah.
Let's start without me, please.
That's kind of surprising.
Okay.
I mean, the White House just stick there in the middle.
Yeah. That looks crazy.
Tear it down, sheets. Like this,
Yeah,
take away the history and
yes,
stuff.
history and seems like there's better places for money. You know, people are fighting for school bonds and all kinds of stuff. And
210 million or something,
yeah,
and it won't stop there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know how that goes.
You see,
Yeah.
so just.
So you don't have a key yet, right? You don't have a key yet to the office?
Morgan has the key.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah. They're bored easily.
gotcha.
Bernie added a multi-verification thing so we can take it in our computers unless you have another device. Which means I now have to remember my phone. Now. Someone who,
Do we have to do that too?
I don't know why. If you guys don't, I'm gonna have to do that. For sure.
Yeah.
It also says it will like remember you for 14 hours. I've done it 3 times this morning.
Oh.
Well, it's 9:01, I believe, and October 21st, 2025, I'll call the Floyd County Board of Supervisors meeting to order. And we'll start off with number 1, review and action regarding the approval of the claims.
Review and action regarding agenda, don't you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had claims on my mind. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Um,
I'll move the agenda that we approve this in order so that we can discuss it.
to approve the agenda?
After there's a second, then we can discuss it.
Okay, second?
We have a motion to approve the agenda and a second.
I'd like to amend the agenda to remove item number 7, the discussion of wind energy mediation. In other words, approve the agenda with the elimination of item 7.
We have a motion.
That was a motion?
Yes.
So we didn't approve the first motion.
No,
No,
so we need to approve the first motion that we approve the agenda.
well, my motion was to amend the agenda. So
Your first motion was to amend the agenda?
my first motion was to approve it. Until we approve the item and
Okay.
have a second, we can't have a discussion of whether we should move forward.
Well, that's how we've practiced for years. We've practiced with the,
I have no
and discussed with
I have no
them.
problem with the agenda if we remove item 7 because that's not what we had talked about in a prior meeting. In fact, that's part of the minutes from the prior meeting that we're going to approve shortly.
Prior to meetings, I would agree with that.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about mediation, we talked about
Okay.
moving.
So within your first motion, you have a motion to amend the agenda.
if that's what it takes, yes.
I don't know, it's different than what we've done in the past. In the
Okay.
past, it's a motion to amend the agenda and then discussion.
I'd like to make that motion.
I would second that motion because it isn't what we asked for on the agenda.
I have motion to amend agenda and second discussion. And I put number 7, on because I believe that last week we talked about moving forward, and I wanted to bring out that there's been a lot of new information, and I wanted to put something on there to show that I'm trying to be fair and get going, but I think we need some discussion on the mediation. I think you went back and said that we approved it in June, or looked at it.
Yeah,
And
discussed.
Frank wasn't a supervisor then, and I just wanted to start and go over what we did in mediation, because I don't think we ever did that. And that was a lot of money spent, a lot of time, and a lot of back and forth, of course, in the mediation and where we ended up. So you're thinking that, we can't go back and discuss it, or?
Just to reiterate what you said, is that the board minutes show that the mediation report was presented by Committee Chair Alvarado and discussed at length during the June 30th meeting. Addressing it again at this meeting today is unproductive and an unnecessary delay of our goal of putting an amended ordinance in place. I would like to call for the question and vote on this.
You want to put it out that we vote on
Removing item 7.
removing 7. You don't want to go back and discuss anything that was done. You weren't here, and I wanted your input, on what you thought of the mediation and some of the what came about by it, because there's a lot of time and money spent that, you don't feel that you need to do that.
I feel that mediation was an unnecessary, it resulted in very little product.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. So
Are you serious? We spent 5-6 sessions
I understand.
and with a Supreme Court judge as a mediator, and you don't think we got very little out of that? I think at first I was accused of being capricious and acting in bad faith. I went into that mediation and I give on absolutely every single part in there. We had some that we could not agree on. Setbacks was one, the number was another one, and I think there was a third. But to say that we got very little out of that is highly offensive. There's a lot of time, and lawyers were there, a lot of money. The wind companies were all represented, and I really take issue with that.
I don't understand that, and I don't mean to offend you personally,
Well, you're not offending me personally,
but it sounds like you think I am, and I'm not.
professionally. What we did as a mediation was, it just wasn't happenstance or whatever. Anyway.
So you're the chair.
I know. So we have a motion and a second to remove number 7, which was a discussion regarding wind energy mediation, and I thought we'd bring up a date. So I'll call for All those in favor of removing 7, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. Nay. It passed to remove item 7. Now,
Do we need to approve the agenda as amended?
we need to approve the agenda as it is now. So do I have a motion to approve the agenda now
As amended, yes.
as amended?
I'll second.
Second, we have a motion to approve the agenda as amended now. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Nay. Number 2, we'll go up with, do we have any public comment? Either in the room or,
Yeah.
yes, please come up and state your name and, everything.
Kathy Carter from Rockford.
Talk up, please. We have a little trouble with the sound.
Oh, I can talk loud, believe me.
Okay.
Kathy Carter from Rockford. I'm sorry, I haven't been able to attend a lot of the meetings. I've tried to keep up just reviewing minutes, and I know the right-of-way ordinances have been discussed and they're on the agenda today. But I'm wondering about the road crossing information. I understand you had a couple of discussions about it, or it's been brought up, but no action. So through my fight with the pipeline, a lot of these things about right-of-way ordinances, setback ordinances, zoning ordinance, all of that has come up because of the pipeline project, basically. And it's not only because of Summit, but we need to be proactive because of other things coming down the line. We know there's hydrogen underfoot. We know we have a state senator who wants to do mineral pooling rights, and he's professing he's going to bring that bill forward every session until he succeeds in getting it passed. It's just eminent domain in a different form. But going back to my thoughts about the road crossing, and you've probably heard this before, but let me just reiterate. The Summit Main Line will cross this county entire length from one border to the other. Add that 3 laterals joining in the main line, you've got dozens of road crossings. Counties are establishing road crossing ordinances, setting a fee structure, getting that revenue. I understand Hardin County has got $10,000 per road crossing, and on just their phase 1, which is the original footprint, I'm not sure if Frank is up to speed on what phase 1 and phase 2 is when we discuss that. But on their phase 1 in Hardin County, they have 40 road crossings just on that portion of the pipeline footprint. So with that fee structure, make it for non-utilities. Summit is not a utility, so it's not going to affect other projects. So they can't scream about you're painting everybody with the same brush. Think big with the fees, $10,000 in Hardin County. Apply those fees to infrastructure, attorney fees, whatever you need to apply it to. Create fees for damages so that a company has to pay for the damages rather than the county footing the bill. Don't leave that money sitting on the table. Require all road crossings to be bored rather than cut. Now's a good time to do this because Summit and the court, everything's in limbo. Iowa Utilities Board, we don't know if they are going to, well, we went to district court not quite 2 full weeks ago. Argument is to take, Summit has, let me back up just a little bit. Summit received the original permit with conditions in June of 2024. Then along came phase 2. And in September, Summit filed an amendment with multiple changes to the original permit because they can't meet the conditions of the permit. So their argument to district court is let's remand it back to the Iowa Utilities Board and they can decide if they're going to accept Summit's request for amendments. So there's a lot of legal stuff going on. If the district court does not remand it to the Iowa Utilities Board, then those of us, including the counties that are litigating, it's going to go on to appeals level. And then eventually, hopefully, Supreme Court. Shelby and Story have filed for Supreme Court for their particular lawsuit. So there's a lot of legal stuff going on. Now's a good time to get those ordinances in place, have it done before Summit knows anymore. And like I said, be proactive because there's other things going to become. Thank you.
Question, how many crossings did you say would be in Floyd County? I mean,
I'm not sure about the crossings in Floyd County, but we've got the main line going across the entire county, plus the 3 laterals. And like Mitchell County coming down from Absolute Energy, you've also got that portion that comes in from Ward.
It's the whole.
You've got the Valero line, you've
East,
got
west,
stuff
north,
coming up from the
south.
south. So I don't have any idea how many road crossings. It's gonna be a lot.
okay, have you seen, what was about with, Mitchell County and all those?
I have not seen their ordinance. I know they just passed a right-of-way ordinance in
Mhm.
September.
Yeah,
As far as right away, I understand that Bremer County is kind of the poster child. They're the shining example. Steve Kinkle, do you know who Steve Kinkle is? He's a former Shelby County supervisor. He was chair of BOS. He chose not to run for reelection this year. The county tapped him to be a liaison for pipeline information because he's been in this since day one. And he is a wonderful resource for anything to do with counties. And he is deeply involved in the Shelby County litigation that's going on.
could you?
I'll just give you this paper. It's got his number on it.
I think our attorney has all of those ordinances.
Pardon?
Our attorney has all the ordinances.
We have all those.
I think.
Yep. Steve's number is on the bottom.
Thank you.
Paragraph. Any other thing I can answer for you?
Right now,
Okay, well, you know where to find me, Wade.
yeah, yeah.
If you're sticking around for the agenda item, I know I have updates as well.
Any more, do we have anybody, any other public comments? Yeah. State your name.
Steve McGregor, and I was coming to comment on agenda item 7, if possible. That's not a problem. I'm going to proceed with it. I guess one thing is that if I understood properly from the mediation is that they settled on 50 dBA for the sound levels. And I've been doing quite a bit of reading. Europe and countries in Europe and Australia, they actually go with 40 dBA. And recent research that came out in October here from a university in Denmark, which I can provide more information from Dr. Ken Matson, who's been a very prominent and working in the acoustic fields over the last 30 years. And he has done extensive sound measurements on wind turbines in Denmark. And he's talking about the way they measure the sound. There's different ways to measure dBA. dBA is a weighted scale. It means they take out the low frequencies. And he's saying that you should use a linear scale. And for example, in Victoria, Australia, 2 farmers won a Supreme Court, the like state Supreme Court ruling against the wind farm because they couldn't sleep. And the one guy even had vibrations in his house. And it took them, it started in 2015 and didn't get it accomplished till 2020. But they actually did win a settlement against the wind farm for noise and vibration. And they, in fact, for the one farmer, are going to have to shut down the wind turbines at night. And I would like to say that I think our way the wording is in the proposed original ordinance from the zoning commission, they don't really state the wind speeds, they don't state the humidity, they don't state the length of time that you need to measure the sound readings at a particular residence or a location. And humidity really does affect the length, the sound travel of sound at night, especially. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want anybody in my bedroom creating a 50 dB noise, I don't think I could sleep. And the problem, from what I've heard from watching these two things in October from the University of in Copenhagen, there we had an entomologist, Dr. Harkin Ecorn, right? I'm messing his name up, and he's a specialist in audio specialist, very well associated with or lots and lots of research on audio and response of the human to that, is that 25 to 30% of the people are more sensitive to sound than the average population due to they're like more nervous, and they're very prone to stress related different events. So I just say that we should consider more research and also make the sound part of the ordinance in such a way that should be over a longer period of time. You know, if say you had a complaint and they come out and measure the sound at my acreage in August, there's not going to be much sound because the wind isn't usually blowing. So it's going to vary with the conditions, wind speed and the humidity. So I would hope that we could look at some more things that would benefit people, because there seems to be more and more stuff out in the literature that more and more complaints are coming along about periodic nature of sound, and also just getting to be a lot more about infrasound. And yes, infrasound is below 20 hertz and people can't hear it, but they can interact with each other and produce amplitude modulation noises that can be heard as far as 10 kilometers away, which is 32,000 feet, which is like 6 miles. So I'll try and provide references on all these things I've talked about to the supervisors and maybe follow up with the community.
Thank you. State your name.
Scott Larson. So my question is to supervisor, since you don't want to discuss anything on mediation that was done, what about the setbacks that we're having from dwellings? At this point in time, you want to go back to the original P and Z, which is 1,500 feet. You have no negotiation on that, Frank?
This is the time for public comment.
Yeah, okay,
Make your
so,
comment. I'm not going to engage in discussion or
okay,
conversation with you.
so we're not discussing this, but yet you want to go back to original P and Z, which is 1,500 feet, and Win has agreed to 1,850. Why would we not address that? That's my question. That's my opinion. You're not, I feel like you're not looking out for the safety and the health of Floyd County and the citizens that live here.
I'll just say there's nothing that's been, and it said about going back to original or doing some kind of.
Frank said it.
Oh.
At the forum, Democratic forum, want to go back to original P and Z. So I don't understand this, why we can't discuss and follow up on what's happening in mitigation and crank up the speed and other things that have occurred since then. So I feel like we're rushing things.
Thank you. Anybody else care to talk? Anybody on the?
Okay, I don't know, okay, yes.
If not, I would move on. Number 3, review and action regarding approval of the minutes of the 14th.
I read the minutes, I think they were fine, I would make a motion to approve.
A second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pass. Number 4, the review and action regarding approval of claims.
Also reviewed the claims, I think they all came through just fine. I had to look up to see what Hickenbottom was.
That's kind of a different name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, do you have anything that you,
That was a motion I'd like to second.
Yeah, that one's, yeah.
We have a second to approve the claims. Any more discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, pass. Number 5, updates regarding various boards, commissions, and activities since the last meeting. Yeah. All right.
I had lunch. I had a busy week. I did the Community Partnership for Protecting Children, Planning Committee meeting. Continuing to work on their efforts with, swoop walk and things like that coming up now. Also had a Floyd Mitchell County's Child Abuse Prevention Council meeting. Looking at some fundraising ideas for that to keep operational costs going, to continue their efforts. I was on a subcommittee of the Area Development Corp for the 2025 business plan competition. They get funding for awarding interested parties. This year, they didn't have as much funding. Last year they had $8,500. This year, they only had $3,000. So 3 members of the ADC board, myself, and 2 others were included in reviewing 2 plans that came through. And tomorrow's ADC meeting will make our formal announcement of the winner of that business plan award. It's only $3,000, but it's better than nothing. Met with Sean Monahan with Corbridge Financial. He's a Corbridge Financial Advisory, formerly AIG or VALIC. Morgan and Sean and I met yesterday to talk about some options for 457B retirement plans. We're going to be recommending that the county transition to a new option that's called Iowa Retirement Investors Club, still using those Corbridge products, but it reduces our fees that are, I think, around 100 or 1.89% down to 20.22%. And there are some costs that you pay to the state of Iowa for that. We'll go over that. I think we have the October 28th, and then the November 18th are meetings where we'd like to, yeah, so we would have Sean join us virtually to talk about the option and then the plan, and then we would act on it on the 18th of November if that's the direction we decide to go.
What's the name of the company or?
It's Corbridge, but they used to be VALIC and then they were AIG, or maybe they were AIG and then VALIC. And we only have 1 person on that. We do have, most of our employees are on Nationwide, and Morgan was going to get Sean the rates, the percentages of fees that are charged on the Nationwide. He's going to put that in his presentation for us. And we could talk more about the options with that coming up here, but it was a very productive meeting. I also met with, or emailed with Heidi Kuhl regarding how we can, if we have to have a hearing to use those communication tower project remaining funds that were talked about at the last meeting. And she said that we do not need to have additional hearings because they fit the criteria of how we did that resolution. Only if we were going to spend the money, the remaining bond proceeds, that would in it like a different department or something like that, would we need to do that different department project. But she said, just approve them like we have all of the claims for the tower project, but it wouldn't require a special hearing.
Okay.
Also met with Tim Whipple about road crossings via email, and it's kind of there needs to be some more follow-up where it was left with Dennis and Supervisor Keeper and Todd Pritchard. They had reviewed a draft and it was, from what Todd said, it was sent to the county attorney, or excuse me, to the county engineer. And they had not heard anything back from the county engineer. Yes, yes, yeah. To see, get his thoughts on it. So, that's where that was at. I don't know what more, if there's much more we can do today, but that's, it's my understanding it's in the review with the county engineer.
Okay, that's the next thing.
Yeah,
Discussing
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
I did follow up. I kind of dropped the ball a little bit. We've talked in the past about the mental health advocate position that, when the transition from, going to regions of mental health, the Fayette County we have a 2080 agreement with Fayette County to provide, to be the employer of record, for mental health advocate. So I had emailed the Fayette County auditor, sometime back and I just kind of dropped the ball on it, but Angie Nelson is our mental health advocate. I spoke with her. She intends to continue to be the mental health advocate. We did review the, 29, or the resolution was 2916. It was dated in 2016, that it was approved. And we agree that it needs to be updated because it references county social services, a couple of things, references in there that need to be reviewed. She also said that Bremer County she does Bremer County under a different contract, not in the group that we're in. And where there's talk about pulling all of us into one group with all the counties that she has, as long as Fayette County is willing to continue to be the employer of record, does cause more exposure for an employer. So I offered that Oregon and I could maybe represent Floyd County to have this group. If we're gonna get representatives of auditors and maybe a supervisor from those counties to, I think it should be fairly short, easy meeting that we would, be able to get an attorney, possibly Fayette County's attorney is the one who I believe drafted the original, resolution, and we could get that wrapped up in a near future. So Lori Wooler, you'll probably hear from Lori or Angie Nelson, and we'll keep working on that. I also have been working with Jesse Willardson, zoning, with sanitarian stuff or nuisance ordinance stuff on another one, and that gets a little more deeper than maybe beyond septic and nuisance issues.
I see that.
Yeah. And also I conversed with Adam Sears regarding the plantings being damaged on the tower site. So he had follow-up emails. I'm going to be calling Steve Slater. I intended on calling him this morning, but I didn't get him called. But just to say, hey, can't have that traffic on the prairie land that's been seeded. It's causing, they figure they have probably maybe close to $1,000 of damage with the traffic that went on that, the farm equipment that went on that.
So
I think
we need to, suppose that might come up later.
it may, and I wanted to talk with the county attorney about it, just to make sure. I do not recall that there was ever anything that said they could use that for that ag purpose.
We want to make sure our ducks are in a row.
Yeah. So I'll talk to Todd before I call Steve.
Okay.
That was it.
Right?
The only thing I participated in was this morning at 7:00, I went to the chamber, city chamber meeting. They're starting their new year, so they were setting up with their new officers. And they talked about a whole series of things, including a retreat or in-service for the members of the board. And so it was interesting and went relatively fast, but so I caught up with him. So, and that's the only thing I dealt with.
Okay, thank you. I had, what I had was a talk with Mark Forsyth on DD 18 that is ongoing. And then I went out and viewed that, he just wanted to see if there was any update, or whatever. And I kind of expressed that, my opinion that they need to kind of get together first and form a group that, know what's going on, within that. And, cause I'd much rather have them, look at it and come up with a solution, and he thought they could,
Just so we are the trustees, so we
Yeah,
can't do anything without coming to the trustees.
yeah, right. And, with harvest and everything going on, it's, that'd be, but after looking at it, it should be a very easy fix, I think, but that's what I had. Okay, part 6, discussion regarding the right-of-way ordinances. And the reason I wanted to get this brought up is we're already into a lot of that. And Kathy gave us a lot of information too, that, this is an ongoing learning process. And I have a copy here for you, Frank, and Lori, that I think this is what will come up with for Mitchell County and a lot of the other counties. But, we need to, I think, go through and review. It's kind of in its infancy here, and appreciate the comments, Kathy, on there should be some additions or corrections or what we want to fine tune it. And,
Fine tune this one or fine tune
yeah,
our
well, I'm just, putting this out as an example, and we'll come up with our own, right? I mean, Whipple's talked to us here.
Yeah, it's being reviewed by
Being
the
reviewed.
engineer. It's
Yeah,
been reviewed by
Right.
Dennis and Todd, and then it got pushed to the
Yeah.
engineer.
yeah.
Yeah. I will say, Kathy, you mentioned Bremer County. I went back and listened to Bremer County's meeting because, I think on October 7th, we were going to have Summit come here.
Oh,
And then, that got taken off the agenda, and I knew they were going to Bremer County on October 7th. And so I did, listen in on, their 2-hour meeting, but I could fast forward a little bit there. But they had a lot of time with the legislators and talking about things like right-of-ways and, lots of topics with, Pat Grassley, Chuck, or Charlie Thompson and Sandy Salmon were all at their meeting I think they had like 45 minutes that they talked about state issues with them, their board, yeah. But then they did have Summit do their presentation there. And I don't know if Bremer is in a lawsuit on their right away, their road crossings. I don't know if there's a lawsuit with them or not.
I don't know either. Yeah, there's 7 or 9 counties engaged with Whipple. And I don't know if Bremer's one of those. But
I think there was something.
Steve Kinkle is really the point guy on ordinances. And he's the one that said Bremer is the right shining example. And as far as Summit doing these rounds of their meetings, they've got this new team on board and they're warm and fuzzy, and they went so far as to say CO2 can't get into your house if there's a rupture nearby, which is so bogus.
So,
So they
We-
did have conversations about setbacks, and they made comments about something must be in theirs that they have 400 and some feet as a setback to a road. And there's something that conflicts with why you can't have something like that. And, so I know,
Part of the
I don't
court
know.
proceeding that originally came down was because the setbacks were that judge said was predicated on safety issues, and didn't want to use safety issues.
Right.
And now Steve Kinkle down in Shelby, he says it's not just safety. He said, we're talking about growth patterns in our county and other things. So it's not safety oriented. Yes, safety comes into play, but that's not the primary reason.
So just handed out that ordinance for, Mitchell County, but we really need to talk to our engineer then, and,
Yeah, and I think I have,
but it's a start. I mean, I wanted
Yeah.
to bring it to the forefront, so we
Yeah.
get moving on it, because it's,
yeah, I think that
I
was.
don't want us to be hung out there without something.
Yep.
So,
I can forward you, what Tim drafted for the county.
okay,
So I'll send that to you right now.
okay.
So you said he was waiting for the county engineer to get back to him in other words, for the county, he wants to know what the county engineer thinks about the document that he's drafted.
Right, because it's got, all the roads information on it, like I was just looking at this real quickly, there's lots of that in there as well. And so they wanted an input from them. This was sent out on April 2nd to Dennis and Todd. And then there was correspondence after that where they reviewed it. I think, I don't know if this had any changes that Dennis may have recommended or not. But I don't think there's any changes from this, but not that Dennis may have wanted some changes possibly. That I just don't know. But they had sent it to, supposedly they'd sent it to the engineer.
Hmm.
And then I don't know why, with Dennis dying in June, maybe it just, got
Yeah.
dropped, but
And with the new engineer, he had a lot of his plate,
Yeah.
maybe that will. Okay,
Yeah.
well, and that was,
but I can forward this to
okay, you
you.
would please, and, we can get started on it.
Yeah.
And, Kathy, I'd appreciate, you brought up a lot of, items, could you, what you brought up here about, I see a dollar amount of $10,000, across the, could you give me a hard copy on that stuff that you presented and get it to me?
Like, I'm
Well,
not sure
what some,
what it is you want.
what some of the other counties have come up with already on their ordinances,
Tim has a lot of those as
he,
well.
he has.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I don't miss something that, like you brought up, or,
And
I thought it'd be important.
I think maybe Candy Larson or someone have some documents that have links
Okay,
to those other ordinances.
okay,
Um,
just so I don't miss them,
Okay,
that's all.
okay,
Making sure.
if you
Yeah,
can't
Candy did
find them,
send
let me
something.
know and
I remember Candy did send something to all of us
Okay, well,
on that
all
as
right.
well.
read your emails, boy.
Okay.
No, you don't get very many.
No, I don't get any at all, thank you, okay.
Yeah, if you can't find what you need, let me know.
Yeah,
Follow
well,
up.
that, you should see my office.
You should see mine.
Yeah, imagine. Okay,
I think if I just printed 3 copies of that, so when we're done with our meeting, I
Okay.
can get those hard copies to you. I emailed it to you also. And then, maybe I can follow up with the engineer to see where he's at with that, because I have not talked with him
yeah,
about it.
okay.
But,
I can get a hold of you too, see what.
yeah, and I knew he wasn't gonna be here today, so I didn't catch him this morning either.
Okay, thank you. Well, we'll go on to, number 8, note fees collected from the auditor, recorder, and sheriff for the quarter ending September 30th, 2025. Somewhere in here.
$3928.35 from the auditor. Yeah, it's 3 months individual for the recorder. Probably about $80,000.
How much do passports cost?
An individual passport A new passport costs $130, but that goes to the Department of State.
That's what,
That goes to the Department of State.
And we collect
We collect
35.
35 for processing a new passport and $10 for a passport picture.
that's it for all that time it takes. 'Cause I was in the office the other day and it was, gee whiz, takes a lot of time.
federal estimated time is 15 minutes for a passport.
Which is not correct.
Yeah,
Some of them, if they're prepared when they come in, they can be sent.
Still more than 15 minutes, even if the person has their form completely filled out. Even if it's a renewal, because a renewal also is less material maybe than a new passport. But they take a significant amount of time and the county does only collect a small fee
They
on
disrupt,
new passports.
yeah,
Something not
disrupt everything in
renewals.
the office also, you know. Yeah,
It is, but-
traffic and all that, you know.
It's about a
Some revenue-
$18,000-$20,000 revenue for the year.
Some is better than none.
Yeah.
Should be triple that. Anyway, okay. Any more discussion on?
I did.
Anything, Sheriff, everything fine with that, right?
Maybe try to come back.
I just wanted to do, oh,
Since we got a newbie, Frank,
okay,
discussion on, I just, example of my, September quarterly or monthly report. We can write it monthly for the quarterly, but, I just did a breakdown of, I guess, colored there to describe where all of my fees, like this is what I write into the county for the month. This is what went to, Health and Human Services for vital records. What's highlighted in the yellow, is what has gone to Department of Revenue. And the blue total is what, the total amount of money that I took in for the month. So,
So your documentary revenue stamp, you send 10,437 to state, you get 2,175. Yeah, vital records, $352 is what you get to keep. The state gets 1,402.
yes, yeah.
And which of these was it that you tried passing through legislation to get more?
Recording fees.
So,
So that would be what it's already for, the $10,103. So, out of that, we were looking at, it's almost doubling the fees, but it was taking away from, I guess, example, a one-page release, $7, it was gonna be $10. So, doubling per page, but taking away the record management and e-commerce fee, including that in there. So it's kind of to give you a, larger mortgages, we get more money, say a 10-page mortgage, we get 52 now, that would put it at 100. So, increase that way.
I can't read the number that you have under the dark
Yeah, the
purple, but
purple,
it
that
looks
was
like
the best color, but.
the state interest that you keep on the.
No, that's, e-commerce fee is, for Iowa land records, every document, like example, I said on the, mortgage of, release mortgage for $7, $1 of that is an e-commerce fee. So that's what goes for Iowa land records.
It's on your interest line item?
It's not I just have it, moved over and you just can't read. It says e-commerce below the purple there.
Oh, but so it's not interest.
It's not interest, no.
But like the UCC part of it, or?
No, it's just the dollar per document. So, we took 233 documents in last month as we get $1 per document and that goes to Iowa land records for, keeping up the online service. So. Obviously, some counties, record more than others, so that's how the fees, are, I guess, monthly, it's probably could be around 40,000,
Looking like you talk about, maybe there's not much value in doing the work. Boat fees. $64 is what you kept. 5,804 is what went to state.
And that includes, snow, ORB, that's, it's all lumped together, the state, where I have it separated out.
Okay, so
three
you have
But the
$250 or whatever
out of 58.
that you got to keep and they got 5,800.
609, I guess, maybe to be more precise, but yeah,
Well,
it's a
whatever.
fraction.
Yeah.
compared, Yeah.
That's not worth the labor to do that either.
Yeah, it's a service provided, but,
Yeah.
and those are, I think, as you say, with passports, labor intensive, and it's the same with those as well for customer, us and customers.
But that's a very small. At least you make a little more than that with passports. but-
Yeah.
The fishing and hunting, where if it's 123 out of that, I guess I can't say. I don't have the report in front of me. I don't recall, maybe it was 6,000 I could have sent in on for the, around 6,000, I guess. Maybe 2,000 or so, but yeah, that's a lot when you're selling fishing hunting license explanation. with
Yeah.
Customers.
I know.
But,
What is that per license?
we get $2.
$2.
Yeah. And I guess, I mean, a deer takes $33, you know, so we get $2 for that.
You get
Granted.
$2 of a deer tag, $2 of a fish tag, and how much time does it take to process it?
It depends on the customer. It could either take 10 minutes or, you know. So, but again, they're buying maybe a few tags, you know, without explaining how landowner tags. The landowner tags, we don't get, well, it's $2. So on that, but the state didn't get any of those, so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know it doesn't seem like what we take, I mean, minimal on each item, but for the month, we took in $34,171. So I mean, it does add up.
But wait, you took in 34,000, but you only got
Yeah.
to keep 13,000.
Correct. Explanation for you, Frank.
Thanks for bringing this, through,
Yes.
because,
Yeah.
it helps us gain an appreciation for all the work you're doing, and this is not a profit center where it's a service to the citizens.
Correct.
It is, I totally agree with that, but I think on the state side, they have to recognize, I mean, it's even, I would say even like with driver's license, that, that what you pay for staff to man a full-time driver's license station, you don't make that up in revenues. And that's where I think the state legislators need to understand, because then that falls back on the taxpayers. Plenty of difference comes up from tax dollars, so.
Yeah, so.
We're providing service, but still, you pay for what they get. So,
Yeah, so I guess we talk to your legislators in this next spring when we, you know, bring that to the Capitol again to, I guess, advocate for us. So.
Yeah.
It's been since 1985, we increased our recording fees, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's due time and, I guess just hopefully this year we're coming with a better path that everybody's on the same fee schedule where there just was some difference amongst different counties because.
So if you put an inflationary factor in there from, you said, when was
1985.
1985, and staff to do that work in 1985, and staff to do that work in 30 years later,
yeah.
and it's still $2.
And I don't know about hunting and fishing, how that was 50 cents probably at that time frame, but yeah, so,
Well, thank you.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to be as transparent as I can. If you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
Appreciate it.
I figure I'm next in line, so I'm just gonna stay in here.
She's the next item. She said she's the next
Oh.
item on the agenda, so she's
Sorry.
just hang right there.
My hearing aids are, okay. Next item, note the hiring of a part-time recorder's clerk.
Yeah, I brought Amanda down with me, Amanda Moore.
Oh,
She started.
Hi, Amanda.
So.
I,
I will welcome her and it was a busy day yesterday. We had some issues last week with our timestamp of recording, so it's catch up and stuff. It was a busy day, so kind of crazy. But looking forward to having her in the office and yeah, this will be a little more relief for us having just the two. It's been kind of crazy. So and Denise has done well, but yeah, only 4 months in, so yeah. But the only thing I just wanted to we'll talk to you about the hourly wage. I was proposing $24 per hour. And just wanted to, I got some information for you guys regarding benefits that the county provides. Right now, we're at, for part-time people, 45 hours a year for vacation. I've kind of compared some other counties and I have the material here.
thank you.
I guess to start at the top here, as I put the salary there, what I'm looking for the hourly, I compared with what the difference of what a $23 per hour versus the 24, because you'll be working 29 hours per week. And Denise, I have at 23, but she has insurance and so forth. So how do the differences work for benefits there? And again, like I said, that part-time employee, they have IFRS, which is a great benefit, and the 45 hours per year of vacation, but there is no sick time, no holiday pay. As I said, no health insurance. So I just have a statement below here that talks about the benefit of part-time employees, how supportive employees, longevity and commitment, and promote health and well-being of all employees, and it's our top priority, meaning with more benefits. Support the productivity of the employee, feel they are appreciated, and that the employer appreciates their hard work and flexibility. Like to know that if they have a family emergency, illness, or death, that they have some benefits that paid time. Part-time benefits are flexible and can be offered to employees who complete a certain amount of time on the job. Attached here, I just have examples of Jones County. They do offer for part-time employees a little more vacation. It just is accrued off of the hours worked. So Amanda's works 29 hours a week. She would, according to how our schedule at the county, it would be at least 2 weeks of that paid. So that would be 58 hours a year versus the 45. And holiday pay, they have for an employee that works 25 hours to 34 hours, 6 hours of holiday pay. So I think that's beneficial. They do not offer any sick pay though. That again is Jones County. On the back side of the second page, at Bremer County, they, in addition, they have vacation, do not have holiday pay, but they offer sick pay for part-time employees, prorated also. The third page, Mitchell County, their benefits for 25 hours or more. They offer sick, vacation, and holiday, and there's kind of, I want to say, the Cadillac of all the counties. They've got quite a bit hours of all. Fourth page, Winnebago County, they also offer vacation and holiday at a prorated. So I would be interested in, I guess, creating a committee or working more on that to, if that's of interest to you guys, to provide those benefits to our part-time employees, especially if you're looking at doing more cuts and having, additional, there's 4 part-time right now. If you're moving towards 5 or however, to have those benefits for part-time employees. Is there any?
Have you started anything with the handbook review or not?
Pardon?
Have you started anything with the handbook review with department heads or not?
No.
No.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't able to attend the last meeting, but anyway, and I did reach out to Mike Galloway and I asked him if there's a matter at a certain time of the year to have handbooks amended, and he said, no, it can be done at any time by the board. So I guess if that's something that we could work towards for January 1st, provide more benefits for part-time employees, I would be all for that. Comment, Mr. Rettinghouse?
It's not an agenda item, so we
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
shouldn't be
yeah, I
talking about it so
understand.
much.
Yeah,
Valuable information and certainly retain it
okay,
for future use, sure.
okay. All right,
I think the intent from a past meeting was that they would be working on getting department heads together to work on. I think we were talking about doing it outside of quarterly, because you'd never get it done if you did
Yeah.
it quarterly.
Yeah,
okay,
okay. Excellent.
all right.
Okay,
Thank
thank you very much. Keep that. Use that in a pile somewhere. Okay. 10, upcoming board of supervisors meeting schedule. We have probably got an election coming, right? That's part of the problem?
No,
No.
you won't need a break, right?
Yeah, right. So Okay, bring me up to speed on this. I mean,
I think the intent was aren't gonna have a meeting November fourth,
November 4th
and then when we're
Because-
close, November eleventh, we would meet November twelfth.
Yes.
and be 12th, yeah.
That's the,
And that's the only,
put a
Change.
record of that in the minutes is what you're looking for.
yeah, okay. That's
Just
the
to be
change.
clear, we have talked about how you guys had the canvas for the 12th instead of the 11th. It just hasn't necessarily been formally said that you guys are talking about changing the schedule. And so thinking that with the comments about transparency lately, this is a great way to enhance that transparency.
Well, we could take care of that now.
Yeah. I think that's
That's just a no.
just it.
Just to be noted in the minutes, right, that we're moving, the canvas to the 12th and.
The canvas is already.
Already did that, in the regular meeting.
Oh,
To the-
okay. Yeah, then at 9, yeah.
So no meeting on November fourth. Part of the record would be no meeting on November fourth.
Right, but the next meeting would be the 12th
Well.
of November, or the meeting in November. It'd be
Yeah, and
12th.
then-
I got that.
Regular meeting and the second tier canvas on the eighteenth.
Yep.
As usual.
I thought it was something new. You did it anyway.
We talked about this when we
Oh,
were
I
the agenda,
know.
right? A whole long time ago.
Well, there's the problem. Okay. That noted. Number 11, the future agenda items. And,
I had one, when I was looking through some old minute stuff, I realized we need to do, when we did the 28E agreement for law enforcement, we only did that for 1 year. I don't know if you remember that process, Boyd, that they, we wanted to come up with where we could get that fee increased, but not such big jumps. And
oh,
that
yes,
so I was part of the committee to try to come up with a 5-year plan, and we
Yeah.
did a 5-year
Okay.
plan. But the board decided to just do 1 year at a time. And so that the 28E reads that we have to do meet with the mayors in November. And it used to say the first meeting of the month in November, but now it just reads November. So I know, so maybe later November. But the intent of meeting in November is so that the board takes action on what the rate is going to be, so that they have it, so the cities have it for their budgeting purposes and we have it for our budgeting purposes. So that would be, so then let's just send in an email out to the city clerks and the mayors, whoever we have the email addresses for, and say, we're gonna set that
Is that part of a regular meeting
as
or?
part of a regular meeting, yeah.
So that would be on the 18th as well, or?
It could be, or whatever you guys work out, I would say.
okay.
18th or the 25th.
Or two sets of people coming in on the 18th already. Do you want it on the 18th or do you want us to talk about the 25th?
It might be if you send emails out to the mayors and see what works for them for their team.
Yeah, we can discuss that next week with, that's,
Sneaks up on us, doesn't it?
what's going on? Over is about one. Yeah, send it out.
Flies
Back
when
with some-
time flies when we're having fun.
Pardon?
Time flies when we're having
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. And
And I'm just, if on the next meeting, we could have third reading of the wind energy ordinance, continuation of the third reading of the wind energy.
So I have a motion to add some detail to your thought about the third reading. And that would be that the supervisors discuss and set a date, time, and location, and establish rules of procedure for continuing the third reading of the amended zoning ordinance, which was tabled on October 29th of 2024.
So you're saying at a future meeting, have an agenda item to do that motion?
I'm thinking at the next meeting, if we possibly.
I'd be fine.
If you want to discuss at the next meeting to set a date for the third reading.
I don't think you want to discuss. You want to review an action for the next meeting to set a
Discussion and
date.
action,
Yeah, yeah.
what you're asking.
So we discuss it and then take action on all the items that I've suggested in the motion. So that doesn't leave a lot of things there to chance.
Set the date for the third reading, but not a third reading next week, right? That's
I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Fine with that.
Maybe Morgan can read that again.
The agenda item that Frank
Speak up, Lori.
prepared says to discuss and set the date, time, and location and establish rules of procedure for continuing the third reading of the amended zoning ordinance that was tabled October 29th, 2024.
You've got discussed, so same as like with typical review action, but anyway. You're wanting action taken on that next meeting to set it.
To set those items. Yeah. And if I need to make a motion to that effect, I will do.
We don't have them. Today, you mean?
Yeah, so that
We don't have an agenda
we can
item.
be sure it can be an agenda. item.
I set the agenda, right?
Well, the policy reads that anyone can ask to have something on the agenda, but it does have that you determine when it goes on the agenda.
2/3 of the body can set items. And I'm only 1/3.
Are you willing to put review and action to set that date at the next meeting? At
I
the,
work,
at
I
the,
know it's not an agenda.
October
item to
28th.
Talk about, but, I wanted to get all the farmers through harvest and, so we had good
we're
representation.
just setting the date.
Yeah, I know we're just setting the date, but I mean, if you're overruling me now, you can overrule me for the date. And so I just want to make it, my opinion clear.
And I'm just saying that we typically, if it doesn't say that we're gonna take action on an agenda item, we usually don't take action. So I'm not comfortable with a motion today to say, to set the date for whatever you would make a motion for. I'm asking for you to commit to putting review and action regarding setting a date time to, or just what Frank's got there, that at next week's meeting, you would have that on the agenda. What I'm asking for. So it's not setting it that day. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
saying setting a future date for that. But setting, like we did last week, we set the canvas of the election, date, time for the canvas of the election.
Yeah.
Next meeting, I like to set a date and time for the continuation of the third reading. You could commit to that.
Yeah.
I think the intent of the policy was that if a board member wanted something on the agenda, it would be on the agenda.
Hmm.
I don't think it was intended that you get to make that final decision, but, because we're all equal and should be equal in that. I just pulled up the policy.
Yeah, I'm not sure the policy, what that is exactly. I'm going forward. Yes, we need to, come up with the third reading at a time that would be, I think, most beneficial to the citizens out here that are being affected by this. And I mean,
So adding that to the agenda would give us the ability to have that discussion and make those decisions.
Yep.
But we can't have that discussion and make those decisions at this time because it's not on the agenda. All I'm asking is that it be placed on the agenda.
so we can come up with the time and all that.
Right.
Which, yes, yes, go ahead.
All right, Gordon Bogey here. I have a question regarding that third reading of the ordinance. Will the complete mediation board be in attendance for that third reading? So we can get all the results from every member of that mediation group and become public at the third reading.
That's already been made public.
Yeah. Already was made public on June,
Or whatever.
whatever date that was.
30th.
Yeah, and so that's out there, what we came up with. And that's why I wanted to make it clear what we did come up with, because just to be transparent and clear, but didn't get that. So, but yeah, we've got that out there public already.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
would that mediation group have input? Could they be in attendance for that third reading? I understand that the information's out there, but should they be present at the third reading of the ordinance?
I'm not
That's
willing to
my
pay
question.
I'm not willing to pay two more attorneys for $500 to come to a meeting to do that.
Again, this is getting into.
It is getting the weeds too much. Be a good discussion at that meeting, yeah, if you got on the agenda. So the policy is request to be on the agenda are approved by the chair. A board member may request an item to be placed on the board agenda by stating their request during discussion of future agenda items at a board meeting. A board member may also request an item be included on any board meeting agenda by communicating with the auditor. The auditor will share the member's request with the chair for consideration. So it's up to you. So I'm asking you if you will commit to putting that on next week's agenda to set a date and time. To discuss it and set a date and time in the future. Have it on next week's agenda to do that. Along with right-of-way, road crossings, another agenda item so we have a little more to talk about.
yes, we have a lot to talk about on that, and I'm not sure we put all those numbers or everything together before next week, but I see it, I mean, I want to go forward, but I want good representation by everybody in the county, and
think we
when
do
we
as well.
talk about that.
I think we all want good representation.
Yeah, I want the farmers all, we're proud of the field and we got things done, right?
So we're looking at November at the earliest anyway, is November. If 28th is next week.
Yeah.
So a date would be earliest to December, and we know we've been pushing everything to the 18th and 25th, and maybe it'd even be December. I don't know what it might be.
I think the
But-
harvest is moving along seasonally
But-
and it's not delayed,
Yeah.
at least at this point.
No, but there's a lot to do, yeah.
And we do need to keep moving this forward.
Yeah.
And it's
And the
sit
end of,
idly back and wait for somebody else to do it. We have to do it.
yes, the end of November, likely there's going to be time for the farmers to come to the meeting.
Yeah.
Would you commit to putting it on next week's agenda?
With that, I'll commit to it.
Thank you. We have Corbridge coming up, our future agenda item on that.
We also have the weed commissioner report and the 195th Street.
What was that again?
195th Street speed limit discussion.
Speed limit sign on, past Maple Heights.
Can't think of anything right now, maybe. It will come later.
Probably be more.
Yeah, for sure.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes?
I've been down here in Butler County, I'm gonna keep bringing it up. DD3, future agenda item. You have Frank sitting there as a past treasurer. We need to discuss why the warrants are still in the books generating interest when there's only one farmer that hasn't paid his obligation. You need to address recodification of code of ordinances that Mr. Kewen tried getting done when he was in office, and I don't think that's ever been addressed formally. And number three, whatever happened to your video call-in line that's never been attended to after your different porn come on every time you talk about wind or pipelines. So just wondering if anybody's ever going to answer that question about drainage warrants, recodification of ordinances, and other things that Elizabeth probably has you on the radar as your auditor. Thank you.
Thanks.
So the treasurer does, I mean, you can have a conversation with the treasurer on the status of redeeming those warrants, but that's her job. The codification of ordinances, that's correct. That does need to be on there some, one of these days here before the next audit. Would be good. And the IT guy has informed us of the status of the phone situation and where that's at.
Yeah.
Looking for a motion to adjourn?
Yes. And entertain a motion. to
I'll make the
adjourn.
motion.
Second.
Okay,
All those in favor say aye.
aye.
Aye.